Hi everyone. Let's move the mic a little closer today. There we go. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to our cozy little corner of the internet. I'm Pen and today I'm actually doing a new fandom Sparkles. Anyway, the fandom I'm going to be doing is the Apothecary Diaries or Kusiria no Hitorigoto. It's the Apothecary Diaries. It's just, yeah. And this one shot it's a one shot, of course. It's called Love is War, by Link Connect. I read this fic today. It's amazing. I absolutely love it, and it's actually inspired by Kaguya-sama Love is War, the anime. So yeah, this person opened up a whole new world for me then, because I'm gonna watch this show later on. Because yes, ignore that it's currently 11:30 at night. And anyway, let's get started with the summary. In the hollowed halls of the inner court, where poison was easier to acquire than a compliment, two geniuses stand at a crossroads. He is Jinshi, beautiful, brilliant, terrifyingly competent. His enemies fear him, his allies suspect him, the maids daydream of him, but only one person has ever dared to tell him to shut it mid-sentence. She is Maomao, apothecary, poison enthusiast, failed courtesan in training, and chaos incarnate. Emotionally stunted, intellectually overcooked, and built entirely out of drugs and spite. They are in love. Unfortunately, they're also complete idiots. I love this fic so much. It's only 2,000 words? 2,888 words. One chapter, as I said, one shot. Please go down in the description and favorite this. Kudos. Leave love on the fic, because I absolutely love this to death. Also, if you note me taking a lot more sips than normal, that intro where I had the sip was my first sip of liquid in, I'll like to say, 5 hours. So yay! Anyway, on with the video. Maomao sat cross-legged on the floor of her apothecary workroom, surrounded by jars of dissected centipedes and things that looked like they had once been frogs. She was elbow-deep in powdered tiger bone and deeply annoyed. "Why does this smell like roses?" she muttered, sniffing the packet again. That was when he arrived. Like a wisp of perfume and self-importance, Jinshi entered the room without knocking, because of course he didn't knock. Jinshi didn't need doors. Doors just surrendered. He smiled, too charming, too calculated. "Maomao," he said, his voice the auditory equivalent of an expensive silk robe. "You've been working too hard. I brought you a gift." He held out a delicately wrapped box. She squinted at it. "What is this?" "A medical tea. Good for stress." Maomao's brain immediately sprinted 3 laps around the palace. This was a tactic, a trap, a subtle declaration of concern disguised as a gift, which would obligate her to thank him, which would create an emotional debt, which she said at the box like it had teeth. "I don't drink tea from suspicious men," she said flatly. "Suspicious?" Jinshi's smile widened. "But you drink concoctions with centipede extract?" "Centipedes are honest," she replied. "They bite everyone equally." He laughed. Curse him. It was a good laugh. She hated how good it was. Jinshi set the box on the table and stepped back, hands folded behind him, like a man who had just dropped a mine in a field and dared her to walk through it. This was not a gift. This was psychological warfare disguised in satin paper. If Maomao drank it, she would be the one accepting emotional intimacy first. If she refused, she risked looking cold and ungrateful, giving Jinshi the moral high ground. The stakes? Pride, dignity, and possibly romantic annihilation. Maomao picked up the box, sniffed it again, paused. This smells like a red peony, not tea. Jinshi blinked just for a second. Does it? I must have mixed up the wrapping. He had not mixed up the wrapping. He had personally selected the scent to remind her of that one spring evening in the garden where she had stopped to smell a peony, and he'd nearly confess, only to get doused by a passing chamber pot from the second floor. She narrowed her eyes. So, it was war then. Next time, she said, send actual medicine. I don't need perfume in disguise. She turned back to her work, pretending he wasn't still there. Jinshi lingered, defeated in theory, victorious in spirit. As he left, he smiled to himself. She hadn't thrown the box away. When cornered, a clever general does not fight. She deceives, distracts, and detonates emotions like pressure-triggered landmines. Today, Maomao prepared her deadliest trap yet, an imaginary man. Maomao sat on the shade of a camphor tree, coincidentally taking her lunch break. She held a rice bowl in one hand and an imaginary love life in the other. And he said he wanted to learn about herbs. Can you believe that? She said casually. The two girls beside her gasped in perfect unison. Planting rumours in the gossip network was like watering a garden. Time it right, and you'd harvest chaos by sundown. Who? Xiaolan screamed in a whisper. Someone who works in the ministry office? Maomao made a vague noise. He has strong hands, probably from lifting boxes. Or bodies. She definitely didn't say the name. That would ruin the illusion. The key was ambiguity. A shadow passed over the group. Maomao. She turned slowly. Enter Jinshi, radiant, unreadable, dangerous. Like a very pretty storm cloud in human form. He wore a gentle expression. It did not reach his eyes. Oh, you're here, she said. He looked at the maids, then at her, then at the way she was smiling. Jinshi had two questions. One, why was Maomao smiling in a way that wasn't aimed at him? Two, who was this ministry man with strong hands and questionable intentions? I come to ask how the tea suited you, Jinshi said smoothly, unless you've already shared it with someone else. She blinked. I thought it was perfume. He twitched. Barely, but she saw it. Oh, but it smelled nice, she added, almost kindly. The girls thought it was romantic. The maids looked like they were about to implode. Jinshi took a deep, noble breath. His next move had to be swift, calculated, ruthless. Is that so? He said. Well, I suppose I should congratulate you on your new friendship. His tone dripped with elegance. His soul dripped with acid. He turned to leave, but paused. Oh, by the way, he said without looking back, Lady Gyokyo will be having a small banquet this evening. She requested a certain apothecary's appearance. I ensured your name was added. He vanished. The trap had sprung. Maomao struck first, but Jinshi's counter-attack was surgical. A social setting, a surprise invitation, a battlefield where court manners and veiled flirtation were the weapons of choice. His goal? To force her in a corner where she would either accept his attention publicly or run. War escalation status critical. Maomao stared after him. chewing the rice ball with the slow, contemplative rhythm of someone recalculating her life choices. Did Jinshi-sama look jealous? One of the girls whispered. Maomao swallowed. He looked smug. That's worse. Emotional casualties rising. Victory still undecided, because in this war, love is a toxin, and jealousy is the antidote neither will admit to needing. At the inner court banquet, there are rules. Smile, sip, politely stab. Beneath the silks and courtesy lies a battlefield drenched in floral wine and passive aggression. Tonight, one man is waiting for a sign, one woman is pretending not to notice, and both of them are trapped in a hall of mirrors of their own design. Jinshi sat at the head of the table, radiating elegance and suffering quietly. His robes immaculate, his hair perfect, his dignity hanging by a silk thread. He was not watching the door. He was merely glancing at it every 7 seconds. If she walks in with her hair down, casual affection. If she walks in with a jade hairpin, subtle flirtation. If she walks in with the peony ornament he once gave her as a joke, marital intent, immediately proposal. If she did not show up at all, she then showed up. Maomao, dressed in formal robes, clearly borrowed from some unfortunate lady-in-waiting, walked in with all the grace of someone who had once wrestled a goat in a back alley. Her hair was half up, pinned with a chrysanthemum. Jinshi's soul left his body. A grave flower, she could only mean, I am here, but I buried all hope of romance. Maomao made her way to a seat 2 cushions away from Jinshi. Not beside him, not across from him, 2 seats away. She bowed politely. Good evening, Lord Jinshi. He nodded, sharp smile. Maomao, how gracious of you to join us. I trust your company from the ministry didn't keep you long. The table collectively inhaled. The air crackled. Maomao blinked. Oh? He was just looking to learn which plants would use for natural antifungus paste. He froze. He hadn't prepared a script for antifungal paste. Charming, he said dryly, and hoped it covered the pure joy in his heart. He sat down at the table. Silence sat down at the table and helped itself to wine. Jinshi raised a cup. I'm surprised you accepted the invitation. I didn't think you'll want to enjoy these kinds of, what's the word? Frivolities? Maomao tilted her head. I thought you said Lady Kyoko requested me. Checkmate. Served casually on a porcelain tray. He paused. She did. He had written her name on it in extra calligraphy flourish. The lady had only nodded out of exasperation. Besides, Maomao said, sipping on her wine, if I stayed in my room, someone might think I was avoiding certain people. She smiled. Jinshi recovered quickly, his voice a velvety dagger. In that case, would you allow me the honor... In that case, he said, would you allow me the honor of a walk in the garden? For digestion, of course. She quirked a brow. You want to walk with a commoner? I'm off duty, he said, smoothly. I can... This is the word I mess up.
Fraternize.
I can fraternize with the help. Someone at the table joked. Jinshi didn't blink. Some wars were fought with swords, some with silence. And Some were fought under the pretense of a walk where moonlight is just romantic enough to be suspicious. This is not a date. This is a strategic nighttime maneuver designed to force vulnerability and weaponize awkward pauses. One of them will say something stupid. The other will use that opening to gauge the confession from their throats. Love is a war, but it's also incredibly easy when you're drunk. The lanterns glowed like distant fireflies, casting dappled golden across the stone paths. Camphor leaves rustled. Somewhere a frog croaked with uncanny emotional accuracy. Maomao walked 2 paces behind Jinshi. Not beside, not behind, not ahead. Exactly 2 paces. Safe distance. Lovely evening, Jinshi said, folding his hand behind his back. It's humid, she replied. Romance bloomed. They walked in silence. Have you been here at night before? He asked. Yes, to catch nocturnal beetles in heat. Romance exploded. Jinshi cleared his throat. You have a way with words. You have a way with silk robes, she deadpanned. He turned slightly, and their eyes met. It was only a second. A brush of something unspeakable. A moment of potential disaster. But he drank so much wine that it was. But he drank so much of the wine that it kept him refilled. That just kept being refilled for him. Jinshi inhaled. You're very clever, you know that, little pet. Maomao blinked. I beg your pardon? He froze. Oh no. He said it out loud, the nickname. He tried to cover it. Little pest, I mean that endearingly. Maomao stared, her face unreadable. Was she confused, offended, about to commit a murder? Then she shrugged. I've heard worse from patients with syphilis. Silence. Then a soft, very soft, purr of laugh escaped her. Jinshi looked at her. She wasn't smiling, but she was close. She kept walking, didn't mention it again. Didn't need to. She heard. She pretended not to. She definitely heard. In psychological warfare, compliments are landmines. You don't say, you look beautiful. You say, surprisingly, you look presentable. You don't say, I admire you. You say, it's disturbing how competent you are when no one's watching. Today's battlefield, a quiet pavilion. Today's weapons, sarcasm, smirks, and poorly disguised yearning. Begin. Maomao and Jinshi sat across each other at a lance-curd table, drinking tea that was probably laced with tension. Your hair looks less fuzzy than usual today, Maomao said, stirring her cup idly. Ah, Jinshi replied, serene. And you managed to wear a robe that doesn't look like it's been dragged through a morgue. Impressive. She smiled thinly. It's called restraint. You should try that sometimes with your cologne. He leaned forward, stapling his fingers like a villain. I didn't realize you were paying so much attention to my scent. I'm trained to detect volatile substances, she replied. You have a remarkable memory, Jinshi offered. You record every sight with surgical precision. Only those that matter, she said. You provide excellent study material. He laughed. You wound me, Maomao. Would you prefer blunt trauma? I expected poison. Too quick. You deserve something slow, digestive. He grimaced. You always say the most charming things. You bring it out of me, she replied sweetly, like a rash. This is not a conversation. This is a duel. Each phrase dripped in honey, laced with arsenic. Each word a confession in camouflage. Neither will fall, neither will flinch, but both are burning. Your handwriting's gotten neater, she says offhandedly. He blinks. Thank you. I assume it's because someone else has been writing your reports. He tilts his head. You've been watching my handwriting. You've been leaving documents out where everyone can see. Very careless. He smiles. Or deliberate. She scoffs. You'd never risk a secret for a bit of flirtation. I would if the stakes were high enough. Silence. They lock eyes. The silence shivers. Maomao sets down her cup. You're surprisingly tolerable when you're not speaking. He raises an eyebrow. You're almost pleasant when you're not trying to dissect me like a specimen. That's because you behave like one. That's because you treat me like one. Pause, beat, and both sip their tea. The key to war is patience, which Jinshi has cultivated. Today, he's laid the groundwork for the perfect scheme. Fake a clerical error, a quiet archive room, one conveniently missing lantern, just enough room for two people to trip and fall onto each other. It's foolproof. Romance will be forced, victory assured. But love has its way of breaking every strategy the moment it truly matters. Jinshi reviewed the setup one last time. Everything was in place. He tugged at his collar of his robe, rehearsing the casual lean against the bookshelf. He'd say something disarmingly sincere. She'd roll her eyes, but not quite convincingly. He'd step forward. The air would get heavy. A distant crash snapped him out of the fantasy. A scream followed. A very familiar voice. His blood turned to ice. Maomao. Without hesitation, he sprinted. He never ran, not even for the Emperor. The shelves had collapsed like dominoes, throwing scrolls and wooden planks across the floor. A few clerks stood stunned by the door, unsure what to do. In the middle of the chaos, "Get off of me, you idiotic constructions of chopped wood," Maomao muttered from under the tangle of broken wood and paper rolls. Jinshi's heart dropped into his stomach. He shoved past everyone, dropping to his knees beside her. "Don't move." Her eyes snapped to him in surprise. "I'm not injured. Silence." His hands trembled as he checked her head, her arms, her legs. "You could be concussed or bleeding or—" "I said I'm fine," she grumbled. "Just pinned." He gently lifted the beam off her side, then scooped her up before she could object. Scrolls rolled around like judgmental confetti. "Put me down. What do you know?" "Jinshi-sama, I said no." She went quiet. He sat her down on a stone bench, beneath the evening trees, still pale. He'd meant to take her to a doctor, but he couldn't override the need to see if she was really okay. She stared at him. "You're acting like I fell into a pit of snakes." "You might as well have," he muttered, "if you had been one step to the left, but I wasn't." He looked away. "Doesn't matter." Silence. Then, "Were you waiting for me in that archive?" "Yes." "Why?" Pause. "Nothing important," he said. "It's over now." She studied him. He refused to meet her eyes. He'd have to try again another day. The storm raged outside, but inside it was worse. Maomao and Jinshi stood inches apart, surrounded by imperial documents and tension so thick you could pickle a cucumber in it. He had cornered her, metaphorically, literally, emotionally. "You've been avoiding me," Jinshi said, voice velveted steel. "I've been working hard," she said, eyes narrowed. "You wouldn't understand the concept." "Oh, I understand it very well," he said, stepping closer. "You've been working hard to ignore the obvious." "And what is that, sir?" "That you like me." Silence, crack of thunder. The trap had sprung. The confession is baited. If she denies, she loses. But if she gives in, she loses harder. But she's not alone in her arsenal. Maomao's eyes narrowed. "Bold of you. I thought hallucinations were a side effect of your old discarded hair oil." "Admit it," he whispered. "You enjoy this. Me. Us." "Oh, I enjoy watching you suffer. So you do watch me." Check, counter-check. She smirked. "You're very confident for a man who cries when I touch his bandages too tightly." "That was one time. I counted 3. He stepped closer, close enough to see her pupils dilate just slightly. "Say it," he murmured. "Say you want to confess to me." She leaned up on tiptoes. "You would like that, wouldn't you?" she said softly. "For a lower-class girl to beg for your affection so you can feel generous?" His breath hitched. "I'd rather be ruined by you." "You already are." Their faces were this close. One more move, one more breath. The door burst open. "Lord Jinshi," bellowed Gaoshun. "The Emperor's request." "Oh, no." Maomao and Jinshi snapped apart like 2 guilty teens in a tea house. Gaoshun stood frozen in the doorway. Behind him were 4 confused eunuchs, a clerk carrying scrolls, and an elderly scribe who immediately turned around and walked away. Jinshi straightened, cold face. "I'll be there shortly." Maomao busied herself with a stack of documents she definitely wasn't reading. Gaoshun, the absolute legend, closed the door without comment, but as he did, he whispered just loud enough for Jinshi to hear. "Next time, lock the damn door." They'd pass each other in the corridor. She said nothing, he said nothing, but both are blushing. Both are scheming. A confession was almost made, but not making it, that's more powerful, because now they have an excuse to try again, to battle again, to love not gently but with psychological warfare, until someone finally breaks, until someone confesses, because in this love there can only be one victor. Okay, that's it for this fic. Holy shit. I don't know why, but sometimes when I read aloud, I just start crying, and this is one of those times. I have literally got tears in my eyes. Holy shit. That was 26 minutes though, I think. Curse, my glass is getting wet now. Okay. Anyway, that took me an hour to record because I kept fucking up and I had to restart because I kept messing up on the first paragraph. And then sometimes I'd be 12 minutes in and then I'd fuck up. And then this one word that you saw here, fraternize. Oh, hang on. Disconnect from my headphones.
Fraternize.
Fraternize. Fuck that word in particular. Look, I know that word, like, actually works, but please use easier words. I cannot read well. Link connect. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry, mate. But link connect, please use easier words. I'm begging you. How did you even come up with that word? Are you like an English major? Notes aside, I've really enjoyed this fic. Thank you for giving me permission, Link Connect. Make sure to comment down in the original fic. Give kudos, say that you love it, because I love this fic. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. I got a second video out. Actually, no. Fuck. 2 videos out on 3 days because it's past midnight now. Fuck. Anyway, hope to see you guys later. Bye-bye.